Hello, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Let's play chess. All right, so we got good chess play to review here. A little bit of bad sportsmanship, but mostly good chess play. I think we started with winning this game, right? And this bunch, or maybe did we start? We started our fives. I think we lost this game first. So as you know, I don't review my losses. Um, we lost just maybe time, and I was down a full piece as well as a pawn. You know what? What the heck? Let's review that, and we'll review all of these games, including this draw, which was, I mean, hey, you make use of the time, but uh, it has to still be time, meaning clock, time, minutes and seconds. You can use your time how you want, but time has to remain time. Right. So yeah, this game I just got beat pretty much. My opponent. Let's see. We started out with this. It's a branch of the Scotch opening. I went with the aggressive and active queen move to f6. I maybe instigated some trades early. What happened? I dropped a piece. I'm okay with things until about here, where I missed an important move here. So let's review that. Knight takes g3. So the best move was knight takes g3. Because, yeah, my opponent either has to lose his bishop or become the victim of a discovered attack of one form or another. Alright, so let's play this out. It's black to move here. My move I played was knight takes d4. I saw, hey, pawn, and then if bishop takes e6, then knight takes e6, and we gained a pawn. So it was progress materially, but it wasn't using the position. I had even better. That's the way to say it. I had even better. Excuse me. Sorry. I had even better. And as Torch 4 points out, knight takes g3. Yeah, this is going to make things really good for for black rather. Capturing on h3, and then even the tempo of initiative. I know that's not normally something somebody says, but I think it's a use that could be helpful to chess players, so I say it. The tempo of initiative that black gains by the fact that white must move the rook to e1 to avoid losing by way of losing the exchange. And black's doing really well here. I mean, we've got this knight's pinned to the rook. We've got a bishop that's completely, whatever the word would be, dominating white's king side. We could play h4 for something concrete here. How about h4? You know what? What the heck is white going to do in response? If he dawdles with some sort of movement, maybe a3, and we'll just let the bishop hang. Sorry, guy, but h takes g3, and white is crumbling. Bishop moves out of the way to avoid being lost on the next move, and we've got all of a sudden a pawn that's threatening to promote. There's ways to bully the queen around if we need to. All this, and after a3, remember I said, well, sorry, we were just going to hang you, Mr. Bishop. Well, no, we can just liquidate first. So this board is full of opportunities for black. This would be a wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Good board for a chess tutor to play white, and a chess learner to play black. Right, where this board with black to move, I think would be a really instructional board for a lot of tactics and different approaches. There's so many approaches here that win for black. So that didn't happen. I moved knight takes d4, and with some exchanges found myself in this difficult situation with the queen. I was able to continue on, you know, being down only 1 point of material. I mean, I know this knight's probably a goner soon. Yeah, being down now 4 points of material, but and just ran out of, what did I do? Ran out of time, and I was beat on the board anyway. So hats off to my opponent, Vakhtangov. Uh, un homme peut-être, mais aussi un homme qui peut, comme moi, parler français. Et bonne chance, bonne fête, bien sûr. So my opponent played a great game there. This was the game I won in a position. What? Let me remind myself. So we're all the way to here. Okay, yes. All right. This is a good game to go over. Who wants to go over a really dry game? I love dry games. This is not a diss against me or my opponent or anything. I love dry games. This is a dry game of chess. Four knights, even better. This crazy move with the bishop. I've seen this before. I try to pry open the position. One position pried open, and white has, it's probably close to equal until my blunder there. White to move, and it's like totally straightforward, totally dry as a game. What did I do? I put my knight on d5. No, silly. You castle here. Oops, you castle. This is the move for white here, is to castle. Alright, white should castle. So this attack on white's bishop. Stabilize. And if the time comes... Oh, no. Black found a good resource. Yeah. Why am I laughing again? Oh, dry chess. This is dry chess. Alright, so there's a number of ways. A knight sacrifice for 2 pawns here might be worthwhile. White has some options. Black has some options. It's a nice, fun... That branch didn't go as dry after the white kingside castle, but I blunder here. My opponent misses, and upon capturing, we had kind of like... It's a nice... If I recall correctly... Yeah, it's reasonably even until about halfway through the move total. Halfway through the game in terms of move totals. And here, my opponent blunders, and white doesn't miss the blunder this time. Capturing on b4. And then tactics seem to fall out from there. And at least favorably so for white. Picking up a few pieces. We have about a full rook lead, and now it's, my opponent resigns because this is just how to win when you're ahead of full rook. That was a great game. Totally dry. I mean, does it get any drier than this? Some people call this Star Wars, I'm told, because the pawns are staying at their starting points quite for a lot of the game. Like, these pawns are on move 17 here, and there's been 6 pawns moved off of their starting point total. So that this is some kind of Star Wars, and the kings are safe, and however that is. It's also, if it is Star Wars, fine. It's also a dry game, descriptively rather than by name. Oh, they both kind of describe it. Well, here we go. It's a nice, dry game of Star Wars chess. What do we have here? I think I won this game by a tactic. At the very end, I pushed for checkmate and got it. It wasn't even pushing so much for checkmate as finding the correct move. So after the inaccuracy, so one before it, I picked up on both the blunder here with rook to f3. So obviously capturing on h6 gives black the lead in material by a full bishop. Capturing on h6 gives black the lead in material by a full bishop. Rook to f1 is followed by the correct move, bishop takes h2 check, and there's no future here for white, regardless of how he chooses. The discovered check on h1 will be one way for white to meet his her or they demise, and queen to d2 checkmate is a little more clear and a little more succinct right away, terse, obvious. Okay, so just a good mating attack, even if I was probably, around here, white worse off a bit in terms of the board. White just retreats his bishop and has such an extreme advantage in space that white could use that to leverage an attack or the aggressive position of some of his, her, or they pieces to launch an attack against black. Alright. Another game here. I won this game, so we'll go over this game as well. Or did I win this? Oh, this is the game. This woman cheated. You cheated while playing chess. It's obvious because you just lag switched the time. This is an instance where somebody cheated over the internet at chess. I don't care. I'm not going to lodge a complaint, report, or block. But this is my Twitch.tv broadcast, and I'm letting my viewers know that Clement BMNN cheated at chess. She doesn't care. You shouldn't cheat. Okay, so here we go. Start review and review this game. This is the Scandinavian opening, and a little bit back and forth, mostly even play. There's a blunder, but it got missed or something. And we look at the progress bar here, and we see that the game is mostly even. You can see that on the chart here too. Can you? Let's see if you can. Let me. There. Now you have a better view of the game chart. And after a while, I wouldn't call this, it wasn't quite as dry a game as the other, but it's relatively dry in terms of the play, in terms of the gameplay. .6 seconds. So these moves are coming in as pre-moves. Oh, that one didn't seem to. I could be wrong. It felt like it. I felt cheated. I don't know if she actually cheated by way of the rules, but I felt cheated. That's for sure. No, I just timed out, but she, I felt cheated. Okay. Beyond that, no. Just playing to the bitter end to try to get a draw, and that's what she got. So I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that I accused Clement BMNN of cheating. I don't think she actually did. And this is the game to finish the group. Mostly even play. This, I mean, if White's at a bit of a disadvantage, or the progress bar indicates that Black is ahead by 2.3. Those are roughly units of material converted into, is roughly speaking, this means 2.3 pawns, of course, as we've reviewed. Um, at, After Bishop takes h5, pawn takes h5, or rather G takes h5. Queen takes h5, and it's all over with the blunder. Queen e7, because Queen h6 is now an unstoppable mate, right? A mate in 2, and that's allowed by Queen e7. There's no way for Black to gain anything from Queen takes e4. First of all, I mean, I guess my opponent could play Queen takes e4 here. Queen takes e4, and then right away Knight takes e4, and I think now the board doesn't even have a check for Black, and will capture on g7, checkmate. Let me diagram this a little bit back a ways. I think maybe not as far back as here, but possibly Knight. Not as far back as here, but possibly. I looked at Bishop takes f6 and saw that the G file might be pried open, but would a subsequent attack be successful? If I have to sacrifice, I want to know if the subsequent attack is worth it. So Bishop takes f6, pawn takes f6, and now we can see that after Bishop takes h5 is at least worth it for the pawn. What the problem that occurs for Black when she or they capture on h5 is the problem for Black is just that pawn, and it should be kept that way. The attack doesn't succeed without falling into the trap on h5 and taking the bait with G takes h5, Queen takes h5, and now Black's goose is cooked, so to speak. We see that the bishop is pinned, and the queen is going to capture on g7 for checkmate on the next move. All right, so there's a little bit of everything here. The move, Bishop takes h5, was justifiable because of the pawn, and my opponent wants the bishop, says if there's going to be an attack, I better withstand that attack, at least starting with more material. The alternative is, give Black a move, say rook to c8. The alternative might be something like bishop takes g6, f takes g6, rook takes g6, and what Torch is telling us is that this is actually fine for Black. Doesn't look fine to me. It looks like he's in a hell of a trouble around his king, but Torch's indication is that this is a better path than taking the bait on h5 with g takes h5. All right, that's it. That's for this session, my friends. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. I want to just apologize once again. I want to apologize once again about this. And I did. I thought I both felt cheated and was actually cheated, and that's not the case. Okay, so I'm very sorry about that, and I hope you will, find it in your heart to forgive me. Et je vois que uh, uh, vous êtes français, ou vous parlez français. Alors, je suis désolé, et c'est tout. J'aime bien chaque et de temps en temps, notre pensons, thoughts, allaient bien too, bien too trop. Our thoughts get ahead of us too much. Okay, so with all that, I bid you adieu, and all right. So thank you for watching. Thank you, Gravitrons. I'm more gravity. Have a great night.